Hello and welcome to another video where I go into Poshmark BOLO brands research. So I've been really trying to just kind of like look into new brands and find things that are new to me, what's selling for the price points that I want to sell, which is usually 50 and up if I can. And so I decided to do a couple of videos just to kind of test out and see if you guys like them about how I do my research. So today I'm going to dive into dresses that have sold for $50 to $100, and we're going to dive in and see if any of these one-offs that I found actually turn into BOLO brands that we want to be paying attention to. So I have about 10 or 12 of them. We're going to dive in and see how many we can get through. Let me know in the comments if you like this style of video, because then I'll keep doing more. The last one I did, I'll link up here on the screen, was about pants, and this one is about dresses. Let's dive in. Okay, so first up, what I did was I went to Poshmark and I just searched dresses, price point of $50 to $100, and sold. Those are the filters that I put on the search, and I came up with a list of results, which I did this prep work the other day, so if I did it now, you wouldn't see the same things. But when you pull up that general filter search, you can go through all the solds that meet that criteria, and I just pull out anything that I don't know. And these were some of them, and so we're gonna go through now that we found one that met the criteria and see if it's something that would consistently meet that criteria. So the first one is, at first I thought it was Lori Bloom as the brand, but then I looked and the brand is Dish, D-I-S-S-H. Actually, the tag is right here. That's how I confirmed that this was the brand. It says Lori Bloom linen midi dress by Dish. So I had never heard of this before. I know nothing about it, but this sold for $68. And so I thought that was good. So let's click on the brand and see, based on the available for that brand and based on the sold for that brand, if this is something we would be interested in looking at. For me, I'm always trying to list items that are $50 or more. These are items that sold for $50 to $100, so we have some wiggle room. So right away I see new tags dress for $150, another dress for $89, a blazer for $79, another dress for $115. These are the kinds of available listings I would want to see. This shows me that no matter the item type, no matter the different seller, these are decent items. So this brand is something to know about, and I hadn't known about it. So I'm really happy about that. So that's based on the available. Let's just go ahead and go down to sold and see what's coming up. So it looks like some shorts sold for $40, another pair of shorts for $27, a sweater for $60, a dress for $100. Yes, 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 all day long. This is a great BOLO brand. This is something that I'm really happy I know about. Now for me, I don't leave things to chance. I don't go to thrift stores and hope that I find this now that I found out about it. Maybe this is something that I go online and I try to seek out and see if I can get at a cheaper price, knowing that I can sell it for a better price. And so for me, that's the kind of research that I do and the kind of sourcing that I do. But you may just want to know about BOLO brands, and maybe you'll come across this in the wild. So Dish, that worked out. Next up is Sister Jane. This was a dress that sold for $100. It says the retail value is $242, so that's a good sign. Doesn't always mean it's going to be good, but let's go ahead and click on this and see what we can find. So here's another dress for $124. I guess that's a blazer for $70. A top maybe for $99. A dress for $150. So the availables look good, kind of similar to the other one. It's just always funny because there's just so many brands. Like, I never heard of this. Okay, dress for $76, a top for $108. Hello, what is that? A blouse for $99, and this other one is a dress for $135. So this is great. This is the kind of thing that we're looking for, similar to the other one, Sister Jane. I had never heard of it. Now I know about it. This is something that if I came across in the wild, or if I wanted to do online sourcing, I would add this in as a possibility. That's great. Next up, this item I found was Planet Blue Silk Starling Night Dress Blue. I was a little bit confused on this one because you see the dress, it says Planet Blue, then the brand says Blue Life, and then the tag said Blue Moon, but then this tag said Planet Blue. Like, I was just super confused. don't know what was the deal with this. So I'm actually really curious when I click on this brand, what's going to happen. But it does show, a $277 retail value. So that's good, I guess. My nose is a little stuffy. So we have bottoms for $15, shorts for $40, a floral romper for $65, a top for $25. So this isn't as good. It might be, as you know, with brands, sometimes certain item types do really well for a brand and certain item types don't. So maybe the other stuff is no good, but the dresses seem to do really well, let's say. So just because the availables look a little all over the place doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but it is kind of what I suspected, which is a little all over the place, especially because that one listing, it said like 3 different kinds of brands. So it's just inconsistent. So it just didn't feel quite right. Anyway, swimsuit, 22, another swimsuit, 29, dress, 48. So this isn't exactly what I'm looking for. This kind of looks like a Revolve model perhaps. And so that could be something to it. I don't love this brand. So here's the one that we found. I'm not loving this. I think it's really inconsistent. I think that it just seems like a lot of summery stuff, which I'm not usually excited about selling. Like I will sell summer things, but I don't love a lot of the summer things because people just don't pay as much for it. So for me, I don't think I would pay attention to this brand going forward. It's not my cup of tea. Next up is Meow, maybe it's Meow, ginger dress, size small, mustard yellow slip-on. Okay, I have no idea how to say it, but it said it sold for $85. Again, you have to take Poshmark solds with a grain of salt. Sometimes it's actually true. Sometimes it was sold in a bundle or an offer, in which case it's not actually true. So this definitely looks like a Revolve brand, just given some of these models here. $199 for a dress, a top for $126, a scarf for $55. So the price point is what we're looking for. Not all of these are Revolve, so it could be something that's sold in lots of places. But the price points on the availables look good. So let's go into the solds. Corset for $188, mini dress for $90, corset for $50. Okay, so yeah, definitely. Like she's definitely, I think, a Revolve model. Definitely, here's the one that we had. So definitely high prices, seems to be across the board for lots of different things. Tops especially seem to do well, these corsets specifically. So this is something that I would definitely pay attention to in the future. Next up is a new with tags, Toofy Duek dress, I don't know. Again, I didn't know, that's why it's on the list. So it says it's a $574 dress. Okay, we got a shoulder bag, a dress for $125, a skirt for $72, a dress for $25, a dress for $16. So either there are some really good deals here where you could buy this for $16 and try to list it for $125, or it's just not as good of a brand. And sometimes that's what I find with designer. So I don't know for sure, but given the price points, I'm feeling like if the bag is a $495 bag, if the one dress that we pulled up was a $574 dress, it's likely a designer, probably a smaller known one. And so it can be very inconsistent in the solds. If it's not Prada or Gucci, someone might find it and just be like, oh, whatever, and not really know what it is. And so they list it for $16. This person lists it for $39. But then someone else lists it for $200 or whatever. So it doesn't look that good. Here's that same dress again and again. So somebody got a bunch of these because that's all the same like model. It's all the same closet. So something is amok here. Let's see what the other solds are. So 58, 88 on dresses, 100. That same dress again, 58, 48. So, I mean, this is debatable. Like, I don't know if I would totally go and pay a lot of attention to this because it does seem to be extremely inconsistent. However, there are a few dresses that did sell for over $50. I probably won't pay too much attention to it, but it might be helpful for you. Next up is Jessica Barra Dawn long sleeve print midi dress. So at first I wasn't sure if this was like a boutique item or not, but I did include it just so I could say that to you, because sometimes people name things, sometimes they have a brand name, but it's not really a brand, it's just a boutique brand. So I wasn't quite sure, but it's a really cute dress. This tag said shop for selection, so I'm not sure what that type of tag is. So let's dive in. Jessica Barra houndstooth mini skirt for $50, a mini dress for $400, that's Crazy Town, strapless dress for $44. This one is like very special dress for $300. So a lot of sequins type stuff seem to be like a thing for this brand. Maybe that's like their signature thing. This one is a sequin cocktail dress for $75. So this is interesting. Very interesting. So I don't know what to make of this. Let's look at the solds. This is the one we found. So $55 for that, a top for $42, a corset for $50, the chain long sleeve sheer kind of rhinestone dress for $350, which is Crazy Town. So if you could find one of these sequin numbers, man, they're going to go for several $100s. Some of the plain ones, though, not as much, is what it seems. This one's reserved, so I don't know what that was all about. This one is the second one I saw that said Rev Boutique or Reeve Boutique, so maybe that's a particular place or something. I'm not sure. I mean, there's lots of different things. We have no idea, but it is very interesting, and it might be something that requires a little bit more research, but it was good enough to just generally see on the front end. Miguelina gold silk cocktail dress in taupe. Would we call that taupe? For $60. So let's see. That one's for $350. That's $65. That's $75. $110. Okay, so this seems to be a thing. $45 on the shorts, but again, shorts are shorts. The dresses seem to all be pretty good. I mean, some of them are definitely higher, but they're all mostly consistently over $50, and I'm looking to sell something for $50. So, or I'm looking to list it for $50 and sell it for $35. So this totally looks like it's above that level, which is great, because obviously I would sell things higher than that. But that's my minimum. So there's a lot of dresses in here, and you'll find that sometimes you're looking at brands and they might, like, it could become very obvious to you what that brand is known for, like that Jessica Barra with all the like sequin type, like it just becomes pretty evident that certain things are valued really highly from that brand and then other things may not be. So that kind of clues you into the nuances of the brand. So here again, this one only sold for $12, but everything else on this row sold for $40 and up. Next row, $40 and up, except for the romper, but that's on the floor. This one's, like you can also start to tell, like maybe this romper would have sold for more if it was sold and presented in a different way. I'm not judging anybody's stuff here. I'm just saying that you may not be able to judge that $27 sold as a real comp, because it has to do more maybe with the presentation than the actual item, when all these other ones sold for a higher value when they're presented nicer. So that's something to think about too when you're checking comps, is like taking all the clues into consideration. But this seems like this could be something, and it seems really pretty and summery, and like this one particular dress seems to be a big deal, this Farrah cotton cutout maxi dress, and it's sold by different sellers, so that's good too. It's not like one person somehow ended up with something. That must be a thing, maybe a blogger favorite or something, because it's sold from several different people, all for pretty good prices. So if you could come across this dress for, $20 or $30, you might want to snag it. Okay, this brand, I don't know how to say it, Anna Lily faux wrap jersey, geo prints, 3/4 sleeve dress. So to me, the reason why I brought this one up is, one, I didn't know the brand, of course, but two, it didn't look like anything special. It looked like a pretty cheap dress, and I always kind of looked to the tag, like The tag doesn't necessarily look like anything special. So I was like, is this something? Is this not something? Because sometimes people have dresses that they say it's a certain value, and maybe it got sold in a bundle for $5. Like with Poshmark, you never know. So let's see. They all seem like pretty similar dresses with these crazy prints. Many of these are looking a lot lower, 29, 35, 38, 25. That one's up for 100, but all these other ones seem pretty low. Ooh, that one's 95. All right, so those are the availables. Let's see the solds because, yeah, 38, 20. This one says 70. Maybe it really sold for 70. Maybe it didn't, but that's the only one. All these other ones are like below $30. These couple here, 50 and 70, I don't know. I don't feel good about this one. So it might be something, it might not be something, but it seems extremely inconsistent. So I'm not a fan of that. Jenny Kane, striped long sleeve, size medium, etc., etc. So this is just seeming like a James Purse, kind of like COS type brand, like Lagan look, kind of Eskandar type of thing, you know, like plain, minimalist, a little oversized, a little boxy, which is what it seems like here. 55 for a skirt, 250 for a sweater, 225. Yes, yes, yes on those sweaters. Cozy, yeah, here minimalist, shearling lined sandals, 225 for the pants. I guess that's for pants maybe. Boxy, so yeah, these all look good. Cotton tee, $60. Bam. But see here you have the lace shell top, 15. 155 for the mules, 116 for the sneakers, 180 for the cardigan, 76, 150. So it's interesting. It's almost like if you ever seen that game on Sesame Street where they're like, one of these things is not like the other, one of these things just doesn't belong. This doesn't belong. And I'm just super curious. Like, is it even that brand? Because it might be. Sometimes, yeah, it is. So this is just an oddball of a piece. Because sometimes if you see an outlier, it could be that somebody mislabeled the brand. And so it's not really that brand. But so this lace shell doesn't seem to fit with all the other minimalist, plain type of items. But that's why it sold for less. Because it's not the classic things that that brand is known for. So you couldn't go off of this and be like, oh, see, it only sold for $15 because that's not a desirable piece from them. Don't buy that kind of piece from them. Buy these other kinds of pieces and sell them for the higher amount. So that's good information. Next up, Seaside Tones linen kimono dress and raspberry wrap front patched pockets. This is a great seller. She knows what she's doing. This is a beautiful dress. I would totally wear something like that. Oh, I like it. $80. I've never heard of Seaside Tones. But see, like, I like plain stuff like that. So, Seaside, 125, 90, 127, 50, 99, 50. So, there's not a lot of this brand. So, that's the other thing, too, is it could be so niche, so boutique, so that you'll never be able to find it. And so me paying attention to this brand may not actually do me any good because I may never find this brand in real life because there's literally only 10 things listed on Poshmark from it. And, you know, there's always a million things on Poshmark from it. So the solds are looking really good. This particular dress sold a couple of times from different sellers, all for over $70. So that is great. That is great stuff. And then there's that same dress in other colors, also other types of items, all selling for good money. So I'm happy with this brand. There's a lot more solds than there are available, which is a really good sign because that's telling me there's not a lot out there. If I find it, I would have a really good chance of selling it perhaps. And there are more solds, which means that people have bought it. They have like looked out for it. I see this person is writing ethical on it. So that might be something that has to do with the brand and the way they conduct their business. And if somebody is looking for that, that might be a really good keyword. So I love doing research. Like if it was just a way to make money to do research, I would do that because it is very fun. And I love being a detective and trying to figure out like what clues can I find here that's going to help me in my business? So I always find it very interesting. This one I was concerned about because I didn't know the brand. Again, I don't think this person there's no tag, so I can't verify. It says wildflower embroidered dress, new a tag. So I didn't know at first glance of the title what it was. Then I see that the brand is Kiona something. And then it says our wildflower embroidered dress. So that's the name of the dress. And then this is the brand. So Kiona. So this might be an expensive plus size brand because everything I'm seeing here is plus size. Everything I'm seeing here is pretty good as far as the pricing for available because they're all over 50 except for this one, and this one's on the floor. So that would be an interesting buying opportunity because if you could get that person to sell it to you for less, then you could turn around and do a much better listing. You might have a winner. There seems to be a lot here, so that's good. Let's see what the other solds are. Yes, 60, 72, 70. The other one's a top, so that's less. Wrap. So this one's 40. That's the lowest one on a dress, which I would be fine to sell it for 40. I mean, again, it depends on what your buy cost is. If this is something that you're buying in the thrift store for $5, even $10, you can do great. If I have to go online and I'm trying to buy it for 20, it would be a little bit harder, but not completely out of the realm of possibility to do okay with it. It just depends. So not knowing too much else, I don't know if this is like a catalog kind of brand or what, because I never heard of this, but there's definitely something here. So that is good. So that's not this particular one. I've got one left to do, but we've done really well. I think there's only 2 or 3 where I'm like, I don't really like this, where I feel like the pants one I did, there were a few more that I was like, I don't think that this is, a brand I want to deal with. This one I feel has been extremely productive, and I much prefer selling dresses than pants. Anyway, so Faraday, Gamina, basket weave dress, white, size large, linen, $51 selling dress. Let's click on this. So I will, in certain situations, pare down. Like this looks like men's, so I don't want to deal with men's, so I'm going to click on women just so I'm looking at women's and I don't get kind of thrown off. We didn't really have to deal with that for any of the other ones because they might just only do women's, but this obviously looks like they do both. So shorts for $35, a dress for $55. Oh, it's organic cotton. Cool. This other one, $2.99 for the duster cardigan, but that's that kind of thing. That's cool, and it looks like it might be a collab. Organic cotton dress, another one, $72. Okay, so the availables look pretty good. I always find it interesting when it's like organic and stuff because, those are great keywords and some people are specifically looking for that. So that's always good when you notice that. $100 for the jumpsuit, $50 for the Henley, $50 for another button up, $38 just for a hat. Yeah, hello. Dress for $85, $25 on the cashmere sweater with organic cotton and cashmere. That's a little bit of a bummer. But the other things look pretty good. This thing is crazy. So Faraday Paloma cotton duster cardigan thing, man, that's pretty good. Yeah, so I think that this is a pretty good brand. I mean, there's a few things obviously that are lower because of the type of item it is. And then there's the outliers, like I mentioned before. These are overalls. She sold it for $12. It's on the floor. So of course, somebody's not going to pay a lot of money, but somebody's going to turn around and turn it into a listing like this. Is that the same one? I would die if that's, no, it's not. It would be so funny if it was the same one and we're like, see, they bought it here and they sold it here. Bam, that's how it does. But that is something that you can do. I've done it before. It's harder to do. I like buying in bulk, but you can totally do one-off buying and selling and making money that way. So if this video was helpful for you in the idea of the format and me researching brands and kind of showing my thought process as I research them, let me know in the comments below. I've also been contemplating the idea of doing brand research lists where I do this kind of research, but instead of sharing the video with you, I just share the links or I share the actual brands and make that available for sale as a download in my Academy or my Etsy shop. So if that's something that you think you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments below. It's an idea I have been kicking around. But I do appreciate you joining me for today's video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Be sure to like, leave a comment, and check out the description for all the great stuff I have for you. Bye!